Hi, I'm Heather. Thanks so much for joining me for this relaxing Yin Yoga session. Some time for you to reconnect to yourself and prepare for a healthy night's rest by releasing any stress or tension built up in the body or the mind. We'll start today's session in a seated position, and we'll find our alignment in a comfortable position with your legs and your feet. You can always sit on a little something to elevate your hips and align your pelvis so you can sit up naturally nice and tall. Lifting through the crown of the head as you lower your shoulders. And release any tension in your jaw. Take a slow breath in all the way down to the belly. And as you exhale, release it all out. Continue this breathing practice. Inhaling perhaps to the count of 4. Pausing for a moment and exhaling to the count of 6. And just continue to focus on your breathing. The counting can be a great technique when you find it hard to focus on the breath. We calm and steady the mind. And bring our attention more fully into the body. Connecting to the present moment. And just taking a few moments to really notice how you feel today. And letting go of any expectations. Honoring just the way you feel. Meeting yourself where you are on the mat with lots of love and acceptance. We'll carry this intention with us throughout our practice. I love and accept myself just as I am. And with your next breath in, just begin to slowly open your eyes. And we'll draw the head over to the left ear, over the left shoulder, and then slowly circle all the way to the right. In a half roll, continue to flow for a few breaths. Always being really gentle with your neck. Only if it feels good. You can explore the full range of motion, circling all the way. But again, if that doesn't feel right, just go back to what does feel appropriate. Moving in the opposite direction a few times. And come back to center on your next breath in. Lift your head and look to the left. Exhale, lower your chin down towards that side. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling all the way to the other side. And inhaling. And exhale to sink your chin towards your chest. And breathing in to lift. And lift the head back to center. And this time, tuck your chin down. Inhale, lift your chin up. Continue that flow for the next few breaths. You can allow your spine to become also involved in this movement, creating a fluidity as we loosen and warm all the way through the back. In seated cat-cow. Oh, one more breath here. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale, again, we're going to bring our head to one side, this time ear in line over the shoulder, with your arm on the other side, and bringing my head to the left. So my right arm's going to come out and back slightly, and bringing the left arm around to the side of the head. Inhale back to center, and exhale to release that side. Inhaling and then exhaling, tilting your head to the other side, bringing your other arm out and your other hand up and around to the side of your head. Breathing here. A gentle side neck release. Bring your head back to center and release your arm. Inhale, both arms lift up. Exhaling to release. 2 more times, inhaling to lift and extend up through the arms, but also opening and lengthening your whole upper body. Exhaling to release, 1 more breath. This time, just the right arm lifts up on the inhale, and on the exhale, come over. Breathing in, come up towards the ceiling. Exhale over 1 more time. Good. Breathing in, back to center. Breathing out to release. Breathing in, other side. Breathing out to stretch and open. Inhale to straight up with the arm. And exhale 1 more time. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale to release. Inhale, lifting your other arm up, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale to that opposite knee, coming into a gentle seated twist. Notice as you inhale and exhale, you might spiral a little bit deeper on the exhale. Inhale to lengthen through your spine, sit up nice and tall. Exhale to twist. Just moving in tiny little movements. And at the end of your next exhale, slowly release, come back to center. Let your back soften. And then we'll lift through the left arm. Sit up nice and tall. Exhale it to the opposite knee, other hand behind. Start your twist off gently. And with each exhale, you might just go a little bit deeper. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. Try not to lead with your head, but have the twist come from around the middle of your torso, through your ribs, through your shoulders. One more breath. Inhaling. And on your exhale, slowly release back to center. Come back to just an easy pose, Sukhasana. Feeling into your upper body, your back. And then we'll begin to transition from that position. And we are going to use a bit of support in the next pose. So if you have something handy, you may have some yoga blocks or bricks. If you don't, a cushion would work too. We're going to have it right beside and slowly roll down onto the back. And just take a moment to let your back release into the floor. Keep your knees bent with your feet closer to your hips. We can do just a little bit of movement with our breath here. So inhaling down into the belly. Exhale and let your belly come in and down toward the mat. Lower back sinks deeper. Inhale to soften and release that. Let the gentle curve come back to your lower back. Exhale and sink down with your belly. Press into your feet. Feel your lower back sink into the mat. A couple more times, pelvic tilts back and forth. And then exhale and let your belly sink. Plant your feet and slowly rise up into the bridge. And as you exhale, slowly roll back down, vertebra by vertebra. We'll do that 2 more times with the breath. Plant your feet, slowly lift. Keep your inner thighs engaged, pressing towards each other. Arms pressed down. Exhale to release. 1 more time. Come up towards your shoulders, center your head, and release down your back. Good. The next time you inhale, we are going to come into that bridge pose again, but moving into the supported bridge. So this is where we place a block or 2 or cushion underneath your lower back. And we're just going to rest here in this gentle inversion. If it's not comfortable for your lower back, you can try slightly moving your blocks or cushion, whatever you've got, either a little bit down your back, or maybe they need to be a bit higher. Just find that sweet spot. Gently rock your head from side to side. And come back to center with your head. With your next breath in, let's slowly reach the arms up over the head. And exhale, just keep them there. Let the shoulders sink, let the chest sink. 1 more breath here. Breathing into the chest, the upper back. And on your exhale, release. Releasing your arms back down to your sides. And from here, if you'd like to try taking 1 foot off the ground, knee bent, and release. Try the other side, lifting your foot up, knee bent, and release. And then try both feet coming off, knees bent. Or maybe sliding those legs up an imaginary wall and having the support right at the lower back. Just support your body and comfortably in this pose. A gentle variation of a shoulder stand with support. A little bit more weight in the shoulders, but let the weight sink down into the hips into the blocks. Again, you want to make sure your neck is relaxed so you can turn your head from side to side. And this pose is really great for so many things, but a few of them, circulation and lymph drainage. So reducing swelling from the feet. Let's roll the ankles a few times. Also help with that. Any swelling in the feet, ankles, or legs. And then we'll begin bending the knees again. And one at a time, bring your feet back down. Planting your feet into the mat, slowly release. If you have two blocks, release and just remain on a smaller support. If you only have a cushion, just stay on that cushion. We're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest and extend the left leg straight out along the mat. Heel on the mat, toes pointing up. A little bit of a deeper stretch with the support underneath for the front of the hip and the hip flexor there on the left side. Making sure your lower back remains relaxed and there's no discomfort. If there is, you can always remove any support that's still underneath your hips. Just a few more breaths on this side. Then we'll slowly begin to bend the left knee. Bring the left foot off the floor, knees in, and then slowly release the right leg. Keep the left knee in this time. And we'll stay here for a few more breaths. And this is an option if you want to try. You can also try sliding both legs out, see how that feels to rest on that block. And also reach your arms up and over and bring them out to the sides. Bring your feet a little bit wider too. And just rest here for a few breaths. Making sure it's comfortable. Begin to reach your arms right over your head and hands together, stretching there, and then bring your hands down, arms down at your sides. Slowly pull your feet in, and let's keep the knees wide apart in the butterfly pose for a few breaths. Again, make sure your lower back is comfortable. You can always take out that support from underneath. And then we'll slide the hands to the outer thighs, slowly push the legs together, bring the knees in towards the chest. A little bit of a roll through the hips, moving the legs in opposite directions. And then other way. And bring the feet back down. If you still have support underneath your lower back, plant your feet and remove any remaining support. Come flat onto your back. And just let your back release. You might again rock a little through the lower back. Exhale, belly in, sink down to the spine, press into the feet. Inhale to soften, release. Exhale one more time, belly in, low back sinks, feet root down. Exhale or inhale and release. Good. And then we'll slowly roll over onto the side. You can bring yourself up using the support of your arms, coming to a seated position. And I'm going to give you an option here for the next pose. We're going to come into a forward bend. It could be legs straight, it could be legs wide, or it could be the butterfly pose. We're going to do a forward fold. So just pick one that feels good to your body today. If you'd like to work with support for your head, go ahead and grab something if you've got. You sit up nice and tall to begin. And let's actually reach the arms too. And exhale and begin the fold right from the hips. And bring your head down, maybe onto something if you've got enough support to rest your head. Just release into your pose comfortably. Feel free to change your position to enhance your comfort at any point. You know, the longer we hold the pose, the more release, the more healing. One way to help your body move deeper into a pose is try to support your body, get comfortable. If there's strain or tension, there won't be as much of those healing benefits here. Keep breathing and in this forward bend,
breathing into the back body. Keep your awareness there. Opening up any spaces that need a little bit of attention. You can open them up with your inhale. Release them a little more with your exhale. We'll stay for about 3 more breaths. On your next inhale, we'll slowly begin coming back to center. You can press into your feet or legs. Slowly come up. Realigning through your whole upper body. And if you're in a butterfly or whatever position you're in, we're going to bring the feet to the floor, knees up in the air. Bring the inner corners of the knees to touch and just reach your hands behind you. And a nice twist from side to side. Releasing the legs. Right, we're going to change our position to come into a tabletop pose this time. Let's start it with our fingers pointing to the sides of our mat. Come into a bit of a wrist stretch. And just start to rock a little through your hips from side to side. And roll through your hips a little here. Make sure it feels okay for your hands and your wrists. Opposite direction. Only if it feels right, turn your hands a little bit more so the fingers are pointing towards you. And then slowly release your hands from that position and come straight with the fingers pointing forward. Exhale, arching your back in cat-cow or cat. Inhale to release, look forward. Continue to flow here with your breath. From cat, I'm going to slide the arms forward, come into more of a plank, and then slowly lower down onto your belly. Bring your head right down. And as you inhale, slide your arms forward so your elbows are maybe just a little bit more forward than your shoulders. Landing in the Sphinx, sinking onto the front of the hips and pelvis. Again, check in, of course, with your low back. Make sure it feels okay here. And just breathe and enjoy. Centering yourself. Awareness in your whole body. Nothing else you have to be doing right now. A few more breaths here. Then we'll just begin to slide out, straight out through the arms. Bring your head down. And slide the arms back underneath the shoulders. We're going to come off the belly. So press down with the hands and come all the way back. Option for child's pose. Or if you feel more comfortable in half dog, maybe that's better for the knees. You can also widen your knees in child's pose, a little bit wider than you might typically, or even bring the legs out so that you're in more of a frog pose, which is quite a deep hip opener. So just find what works. I'm going to move into frog. And for this one, it's nice to have support underneath the head or even the upper body here. Take a few more breaths into your back body. Slow, steady breathing, long exhalations, especially access using those long exhalations. If you're in a pose that you're finding maybe is a little bit challenging for the legs and hips, a long exhalation will trigger that deep release. We'll slide the hands right underneath the shoulders, slowly come up. If you're in a wide kneed child's pose or the frog, lift one knee up and slide it back to center. Do the same with the other side. So back to table and roll the hips. Releasing that pose. That's it. Other direction. Push out with your hips in all directions. And then release, and we're going to come back to our back for a few postures. So get anything you need for, you won't necessarily need any props for the next few, but just being comfortable for the end pose of Shavasana. Okay. So we'll come down slowly onto the back and we'll keep the legs extended. Let's move into the funny pose, the banana pose. So we're going to slide both legs to the right side. And let's cross the right leg over the left. And slowly bring your arms up over your head. And same thing is try to bring your arms over to the right. I'm going to grip my left arm with my right hand. And just a gentle pull over and then a release, sinking the arms, sinking the hips, and sinking the legs to feet. Always coming back to your breath. Maintaining a slow, steady flow to your breathing. And then we'll begin to release the arms. And we'll uncross the ankles and slowly slide the legs back to center. And then over to the other side, crossing the left
ankle over the right, reaching the arms up and over to the left. Feeling that nice side stretch all the way through the right side of your body. You can grip your right wrist with your left hand. Gently pull and then lower the arms, settling everything down. Especially that right hip, if you find it lifted. A few more breaths here. And coming back to center with your arms, uncrossing your ankles, and just centering for a big whole body stretch. Release your arms and slowly begin bending your knees, bringing your feet close to your hips. I'm going to bring the right knee into the chest. Cross that ankle over to the left thigh. And gently push against your right leg for a moment. If you're ready, if this is appropriate, you can bring your hands behind your left knee, bringing the legs into your chest, or you can also use a belt. Let's also lift the left leg straight up in the air for a few breaths. Release your foot from the air. Keep your knee bent, foot off the floor for a couple more. And slowly release and set your left foot down. Keep your right ankle on your left thigh. I'm going to plant the left foot, lift the hips slightly, move them to the right as we come into a reclined twist, twisted roots version. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can always come back to center, release the bind, bring both legs together, one on top of the other for the twist. So just decide what feels good. You might add support underneath that top leg if you're in twisted roots, or something between the knees is always nice. And keeping your right shoulder down. With your right arm out to the side, and you can gently turn your head slightly to the right. And just let your body sink and settle a little deeper. Bring the head back to center. Slowly release the legs back to center. Realign through your hips, your low back, and release your right leg. You might come up a little bit into the bridge and release back. And then bring your left knee into the chest. And cross that ankle over for the reclined pigeon pose. And when it feels right to do so, you could slide the hands behind the right knee. Let's lift that right leg up in the air for a few moments. And then bending the knee, keeping the legs in towards your chest. And in a moment, we're going to release the right foot to the floor. Keep the left ankle on the thigh. If you like, move into that twisted roots version of the reclined twist, or you can release and just bring both legs so that they're together, stacked. You might gently pull your hips to the left and lower your legs to the right. Bring your right hand to the top of your left knee. And stay here. Notice if you can let go just a little bit more. Soften wherever you feel any tightness or tension. Inhale more slow and steady. Exhale, release more completely. And then on your next breath in, we'll come back to center, realigning through your hips and keeping your knees bent, feet on the floor. You can lift your hips up, slowly roll back down. Hug the knees into the chest one more time. Perhaps from here, moving into the happy baby, our last pose before Shavasana. And release your feet back together. Slowly bring your knees together and lower your feet down. Preparing for Shavasana, however you'd like, with any support that you might need. Maybe covering up. If you have something to place over your eyes, and just relaxing everywhere. Take a slow, deep breath in and a long breath out through your mouth. Feel your body relax deeper. Let this pose, this practice of relaxation, practice of stillness, activate deep healing for your entire body. Nothing else you have to do. Nowhere else to go, and nothing more you have to be. Just completely honor, acknowledge, accept just as you feel right now. I love and accept myself just as I am. And then bring a slow movement to your head, rocking your head from side to side. Deepen your breath again. Maybe start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. We're rolling through your ankles, rolling through your wrists. And one more stretch with your arms over your head. And then we'll slowly release. You can roll over to your side. And when you're ready, come up with your arms. Sitting for a few moments, and let's practice one more thing before we end. Just a few moments of gratitude. So just bringing the feeling of gratefulness and appreciation as we note all the things that we are truly thankful for in our lives. And I thank you. Namaste, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Great sleep tonight. We'll see you again soon.